Have you ever provoked a crow? If you have, I'd strongly advise you to move house as soon as possible. These birds hold grudges for a very long time. Once they remember a slight, they can hold on to it for years. Even more unsettling, scientific studies have shown that crows can actually recognize human faces and even alert others of their kind to join in taking revenge on you. And that's just one of their many astonishing abilities. Today, we're going to talk about a bird you see often but probably don't truly understand. The crow, perhaps the most underrated genius on Earth. The crow family is a large one, including species such as crows, magpies, and jays. They are playful, mischievous, and incredibly intelligent. They can use tools to obtain food and solve problems through multi-step logic. For example, crows can use small sticks to extract insects from tree bark, drop hard nuts onto roads for cars to crack open, or even bend wires into hooks to retrieve food from narrow tubes. Within the crow family, intelligence levels vary. Scientists have found that the New Caledonian crow is the most intelligent species, occupying a position in the crow family similar to that of humans among primates. In 2014, scientists designed a challenging test. Several tubes containing water, with food floating on the surface but out of the crow's reach. In one experiment, one tube contained water and another contained sand, both with food inside. The crows quickly understood that they needed to drop objects into the water-filled tube to raise the water level and bring the food within reach, while ignoring the sand-filled tube entirely. In another experiment, the scientists provided objects made of different materials. The crows chose sinking objects over floating ones. When faced with two tubes containing different water levels, they selected the one with a higher level to access the food more quickly. These experiments demonstrate that crows' problem-solving and tool use abilities are comparable to those of 5 to 7-year-old children. However, in more complex tasks, such as understanding the difference between wide and narrow tubes or hidden connected tube mechanisms, they don't perform as well. Even so, human children typically need to be around 8 years old to consistently solve such problems. Beyond using tools, New Caledonian crows can also manufacture them, even complex, multi-part tools. When a stick is too short to reach food, they can combine multiple sticks into a longer tool. Some have even been observed creating tools made of 3 or 4 joined pieces. This level of complex tool construction, aside from humans, is only seen in a few highly advanced primates and is often considered a hallmark of human intelligence. They can even plan for the future more effectively than we once thought. For animals, future planning is extremely difficult. Most animals live in the present. When they're hungry, they look for food. When they're full, they rest. They lack the concept of sacrificing immediate rewards for future benefits, known as delayed gratification, a high-level cognitive ability that human children typically develop around the age of 5. So what about crows? In a 2020 experiment, crows were shown a box they had previously learned to open using a specific tool. They were then taken away for 5 minutes and later given a selection of objects, including the correct tool and several distractors. After making their choice, they had to wait another 10 minutes before being allowed to open the box. The result, not only did the crows choose the correct tool, but they also remembered to keep it with them, knowing they would need it later. In another experiment, scientists showed crows a locked box containing desirable food. They were then given a choice between the correct key, several useless objects, and a piece of less appealing food that could be eaten immediately. What do you think they chose? Most crows ignored the immediate reward, picked the key, and waited to unlock the box for the better food. They demonstrated both delayed gratification and future planning. You might wonder why crows are so intelligent. They are not higher mammals, and their brains are relatively small. This relates to a long-standing puzzle for scientists. Birds and mammals diverged on the evolutionary tree around 320 million years ago, and since then, their brains have developed along entirely different paths. Mammals evolved the cerebral cortex, the most complex structure in the human brain, responsible for learning, memory, and thinking, but birds do not possess this structure.